she whispered to a stranger. Please, just dance with me. And that one desperate moment changed her entire life. Emily Carter had one rule for herself. Never let anyone see you fall apart. She had followed that rule for 2 years. Through the breakup, through the crying in bathroom stalls, through the fake smiles at work. 2 whole years of holding it together, and she was doing just fine. Until tonight. The charity gala was supposed to be simple. Show up, smile, represent her company, go home. That was the plan. Nobody told her that her ex, Daniel, would be there, standing across the room in a perfectly fitted suit, laughing like nothing ever happened, like he didn't destroy her, like she was nothing. Her hands went cold. Her chest got tight. She needed an exit, fast. But there was no exit. There were cameras, colleagues, important people everywhere. If she walked out, everyone would know something was wrong. And Emily Carter did not fall apart in public. So she did the only thing she could think of. She grabbed the arm of the man standing closest to her. She didn't even look at his face properly. She just turned to him, eyes wide, voice low, and said, I know this is crazy, but my ex just walked in and he's looking this way. Can you just dance with me, please? Just for a minute. The man paused. Just for a second. Then he turned to her, offered his hand, and said, Of course. That was it. No questions. No weird looks. Just, of course. They moved to the middle of the floor. Emily exhaled for the first time in 5 minutes. She kept her eyes down, focused on not tripping, focused on breathing. The man led her smoothly, like he'd done this 100 times before. She finally looked up. He was tall, dark hair, sharp jaw, calm eyes. Well-dressed, not just well-dressed, but the kind of dress that said this suit costs more than your rent. She'd never seen him before. At least she didn't think so. Is he still looking? She asked quietly. The man glanced over her shoulder just slightly. He was. He's not anymore. Emily let out a long breath. Thank you. Seriously. I'm sorry, I just panicked. Don't apologize, he said. Everyone panics sometimes. She laughed. A small, surprised laugh. Because for some reason that was the most human thing anyone had said to her all night. They kept dancing. She told herself 1 more minute. Then she'd thank him properly and disappear. But 1 minute became 2. 2 became 5. And somewhere in between, they started actually talking. His name was Nathan. He didn't say much about himself. He asked about her instead, what she did, how she ended up at the gala, what the company she worked for was like. She worked at Meridian Group, a large firm in the city, junior project coordinator. She'd been there 8 months. She liked it mostly. Her boss she'd never actually met. He was always traveling, always in meetings, always just a name on an email. Nathan listened. He nodded. He didn't interrupt. He asked smart follow-up questions. Emily thought, this man is either genuinely interested, or he's very, very good at pretending. When the song ended, she stepped back and finally said it properly. Thank you, really. You didn't have to do that. He smiled, just slightly. It was my pleasure, Emily. She froze. She hadn't told him her last name. She'd only said Emily, so how did he... Someone behind Nathan called out, Mr. Hayes, they're ready for your speech. And just like that, every single thought in Emily's head stopped. Hayes, Nathan Hayes. The name on every email. The name on every company memo. The name on the glass door of the corner office she had never seen anyone walk in or out of. Nathan Hayes was the CEO of Meridian Group. Nathan Hayes was her boss. She stood completely still as he turned back to her. And this time the calm in his eyes looked different. Not distant, just patient, like he'd been waiting to see how long it would take. You work at Meridian, he said. Not a question. You knew? She managed. I recognized your name when you mentioned the company, he said. I've read your project reports. They're good. Emily's brain was doing 10 things at once. She had just grabbed her CEO's arm at a charity gala. She had asked her boss, the man who could fire her with 1 phone call, to pretend to be her boyfriend to avoid her ex. She had told him things, real things, things she wouldn't even tell her work friends. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. I'm so sorry, she said. For what? He said. Dancing? For all of it. I didn't know who you were. I was panicking and I just... Emily, his voice was steady. I'm glad you asked me, and for what it's worth. Whoever that man is across the room, he doesn't deserve to make you feel like that. She didn't know what to say to that, so she said nothing. Nathan excused himself for his speech. Emily found a corner of the room and stood there for a full 3 minutes just breathing. Then she watched as Nathan stepped up to the podium, confident, composed, the whole room going quiet without him even asking. And she thought about how she had no idea. 8 months at that company, 8 months of his name on her screen, and she had no idea what he looked like, what his voice sounded like, what kind of person he was. Now she did. The next Monday, Emily walked into work fully prepared to pretend the gala never happened. She had her coffee, her laptop, her plan to be completely invisible. She made it to her desk. She sat down. She opened her email. There was one new message at the top. From N. Hayes. Subject, project rework, team lead needed. She clicked it open. It was short. 3 sentences. He was restructuring a struggling project. He needed someone detail-oriented to lead the turnaround. He thought she'd be good for it. He was offering her a promotion, not because of the gala. She could feel that. Nothing in the email hinted at it. Nothing was soft or personal. It was just clean, professional, and direct. He'd read her reports before he even knew her face. He'd already decided she was capable before she grabbed his arm in a panic. At a charity ball, Emily sat back in her chair and stared at the ceiling for a moment. Then she typed back, "I'd be honored." "Thank you, Mr. Hayes." His reply came in 4 minutes. Just 2 words. "Call me Nathan." She said yes to the project. She worked harder than she ever had. She didn't see Nathan in the office for another 3 weeks. He was in Singapore, then London, then back in meetings all day. But they emailed and texted sometimes, professionally at first, then less formally. Then one afternoon he called her to talk through a problem, and they stayed on the phone for 40 minutes talking about something completely unrelated to work. She didn't panic this time. She didn't run. Because the thing nobody tells you about the worst moments, the moments where you feel like the ground is disappearing under your feet, is that sometimes those are exactly the moments that lead you somewhere you never expected to go. Emily showed up at that gala terrified of one person. She left changed by another. And it all started because she was brave enough, or desperate enough, to grab a stranger's hand and ask for one dance. If this story made you feel something, the next one on your screen right now is just as powerful. Go watch it.